Hey y'all, it's Anime Man. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 58 of Gegege no Kitarou. And before I'm going to start, I'll give y'all like 5 or 10 seconds to predict what's going through my mind. Y'all can probably predict it. Alright. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Internal electricity. But that's really the only complaint I had about this episode. The only complaint was pretty much in the start, where when Kitarou was pretty much captured by Han Gyojin, I was pretty much just staring at the screen. Oh God, just use the goddamn internal electricity. Fuck. And that was like the only instance where I felt Toei broke themselves again into a plot hole there, which they could have easily avoided that situation by instead of having Gyonji capture Kitarou using his squid, they could have easily changed the sequence by having Han Gyonji show up while Kitarou is there in the spot where he's at, and then he could have had a sequence where the squid could have held captive like a child or a kid. Then he could have told Kitarou, if Kitarou doesn't do what he says and doesn't succumb to the hypnosis that turns him into a squid creature, then Han Gyonji could have just killed the child, and that would have led to an end result where I wouldn't be thinking, just use the damn internal electricity. So easily Toei could have just not ridden themselves into that small little corner at the start of the episode. Because they kind of did something like that, the whole hostage situation, when Kitarou was going up against one of the 4 treasonous generals when it first showed Rei show up. So that's a plot point they've actually used in the past. But that was really the only complaint about this episode, because overall it was mostly good. If anything, this was actually one of the funniest Gegege no Kitarou episodes that I've seen. Because for one, I like the basic premise. Kitarou's turned into a squid. He has to gather fishes for Han Gyojin because he can operate this company where they pretty much sell fish to people, makes profits, and you see the scumbag rat man at it again, working with Han Gyojin, and it was all hilarious as hell too. How each and every scene, it makes you think one thing. Like for example, there was a sequence where he turned Kitarou into like these type of fish dish. And then at first you see Ratman all sad about it, but then he's only sad at the fact that he's not part of the online marketing anymore, and he wasn't sad because Kitarou was going to be sold off as fish, and that got me laughing because it's like, it was a good way of subverting expectations, but in a good way. So this episode had strong amounts of humor in sequences like that. And the script was also nice, all things considered, when it showed you a bit more layers of Han Gyojin, because it shows you a yokai that doesn't have a specific purpose of taking over the world or something like that. No. He just wants money, wants to throw it around, and he wants to settle down, which is nice. Kind of gives Han Gyojin like that mobster-like feel you see in those mafia movies where you get the power. I'm trying to remember this Tony Montana quote from Scarface. Okay, you get the money, you get the power, then you get the woman. That quote kind of had that kind of vibe, because he tried to get the money, the power, tried to get the woman, failed. When it comes to this specific yokai in this episode. And I like that. Made the episode fun to watch. Especially, again, when it had another subversive comedy sequence where, since after Kitarou was transformed into a fish, and I also like how they had to get sandwiched to buy that, all the Kitarou parts. Afterwards, Kitarou goes in, dresses up as a woman, convinces Han Gyojin to transform into a human because Kitarou pretty much cosplays as a maid, saying that he won't be interested in them until he gets the surgery to transform into a human. Han Gyojin gets the surgery to transform into a human. The thing is, though, the surgery, it's unreversible, which means he can't transform into yokai afterwards. And then what I like afterwards is I like how Kitarou just throws the fuck out of him, and you see Kitarou's actual face, and it wasn't a woman, or it wasn't cat chick like I originally thought. And that was also another instance of the script shining, because it built towards your expectations of something, and then it gave you something else that was completely better than I could have imagined, because shit. For one, it showed you that Kitarou's personality has some quirks that are hilarious as fuck to see. Like how he just owned that woman. Like, fucking manner was hilarious as fuck. So not only did we get to see a fun and unexpected side of Kitarou, we also got to see at the same time some savagery, because afterwards he's all like, he was pretty much monologuing that Han Gyojin can live in that human body struggling and all that kind of jazz. And I was like, damn, that's savage. But at the same time, I like that. It gives Kitarou some nice layers to his character. You know? So that's why I thought from a script standpoint, it was pretty good. Just a lot of instances in this episode that popped out to me that were well done. And aside from the script being captivating, I also like how throughout this episode you had some nice characterization for Sandwich, because she's the one who helps buy all these Kitarou pieces so that it can be put back together, and also she provides money to get a surgery for Kitarou so that he can go back to normal. And I like how you see more of Sandwich's personality, because it shows off that she's a woman that has a large amount of patience and a high amount of risk tolerance, because to invest in businesses and stocks and things like online currency, you need to have a high amount of risk tolerance. And we got all of that just through a single sequence. So from a script standpoint, this episode actually gave us a lot about Sandwich, which I really appreciate, aside from giving us a lot about Kitarou, because we saw more of his quirky personality and how really serious he can get when it comes to punishments. So those were why I thought this episode did well from a character standpoint. And we got to see some of Ratman's cool side too, where he was rubbing Kitarou's back, and then Kitarou was rubbing Ratman's back too. That was nice. I like to see those moments where they actually act like friends. Hope we get more of those type of moments. And we also get to see him kind of take down Han Gyojin, even though, well, yes, Ratman did help him from the start. It was still nice to actually see him at the end help take that dude down. So I thought I did well from a character standpoint for those specific reasons. Animation was weak this episode, though, a bit too many still shots for my liking. But the art was actually nice, I gotta say. When it had to pop, it popped well. Kitarou looked nice in that woman outfit. If anything, I really, for a second, thought it was Neko for a bit. Catcher. Gotta give props to Toei for that. And then the shoujo-like art in some sequences looked good. So I gotta give props. And I'd say overall, with the amount of positives this episode has, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like, the positives just outnumber the downsides by a lot. And I thought this episode was just darn great. So anyways, guys, these are my thoughts on Gegege no鬼太郎, episode 58. Comment out your thoughts in the comment section below. Rate the video, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. If you subscribe for more, or if you come back for more. Alright, bye-bye, everyone.